Hello, Internet. Zihauna here. So, I've decided, and it's been a bit deciding because my mind has been pretty random about what to talk about next. And I've decided divination. We could talk about tarot cards since I did pull mine out. We can talk about mirror magic, dream magic, and other forms of divination like dice. I even use a specific dice from D&D, my dungeon mastering dice, to help me see my future, sort of. So the way it works is I roll it to kind of tell how my day is going to go. And usually it's actually pretty accurate. I also will let it determine yeses and nos. Usually that is also pretty accurate in helping me with decisions in life, as weird as that sounds. So I've also learned, though, that that goes all the way back to ancient Egypt, back when, the advisors of the pharaohs or whoever they were, the priest would use dice for divination so they could see future or see events of the day or whatever it is they needed to know. Um, you can also use runes. I personally prefer the alphabetical runes for spells. I don't actually use runes on stones or sticks or bones, which are all options depending on location and your beliefs. I actually connect with bones, so if I did do runes, I would do runes with bones. Um, that goes all the way back to probably multiple cultures that I can't even think of, really. I definitely know a lot of cultures in Africa and Australia and Native American cultures use bones. So it goes back to those days before anybody even decided what modern meant or what uh, everybody should be doing. So, anyways, nowadays people like to read tarot. Tarot is a bit newer. I think it came upon, I want to say, the 1700s or 1800s, but I'm very probably wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if I was. Uh, but cards are actually kind of a newer thing, and that's why I would assume newer for tarot. Now, the other interesting information is originally when it became with cards, they used playing cards. So, you know, basic playing cards. This would probably be too big of a deck. It's a fun sized deck. And essentially, what it would be is clubs would be things like, I think they were swords. I don't know what the Joker would be. Hearts would be cups. Diamonds would be pentacles. And spades would be wands. I'm pretty sure that's how it went. I could be wrong. And of course, also, the jack would be like basically the page, and then there's the queen. So maybe the Joker's the page and the jack is the prince. So that's what the Joker could have been for. So another deck I have for tarot is really shiny and pretty. Probably can't read it very well. The light reflects on it rather well. So pentacles on this one, the Ace of Pentacles, is looks like flowers, whereas swords look like these leafy things, and cups do actually look like a form of a flower, cup shaped or something. They definitely used lots of colors and interesting flowers for like wands on this one. And then you get the characters for your king and queen as well. And of course, it's not all the same characters, but it's a very mythological. Like, that's Thoth from Egypt, and he is the king of swords, apparently. I wouldn't have made him the king of swords. I would have probably made him the king of wands, personally, or the priest, but I'm not the artist here. Then we've got, Sagittarius for the Knight of Pentacles. The devil clearly looks like the devil. Let me give you an example. I mean, not clearly looks like the devil, but that's what everybody perceives the devil as. So anyways, that's just an example of these cards. I forgot that the Chariot is actually Sleipnir, Loki's son. Yeah, and then anyways, so there's all sorts of mythical creatures, unicorns, Odin, Baba Yaga's house, and a lot more. And I really like the fact that they use leaves for swords and flowers for everything else, pretty much. That's a cup flower. That's one of the flowers I was talking about for cups. So it doesn't have to be the direct, like, wands that you would see in my lunar deck. Oh no, that card just flew from the rest of the deck. I guess that's a tarot reading today. That is also part of divination. So if you're messing with your decks and everything seems perfectly fine and nothing's flying around, well, then you don't have a reading. Well, oh, reverse Two of Cups showed up, and that's the art for the lunar deck that I have. So that's the cups. I suppose we should see what the reverse Two of Cups is. Cups usually has to do with emotions and feelings, and not always. But I like to read the book, even if I think I know what the cards mean, because it just kind of clarifies. So let me see. Oh, wands is first in this one, I forgot. So I thought that it was going to be cups, but that's what the wands look like. They look like wands. And swords look like swords. Now we've got cups. Let's see. It doesn't appear to have a reverse or a right side up definition or reading at all. And the Two of Cups is a wonderful sign for partnerships and relationships. It emphasizes the precious links in your life, the one-on-ones. Generally, it's a sign that we have better together and should faster balance and respect. A call to join with another and work with as a partnership. I had a feeling it had to do with partnerships, but that doesn't necessarily mean romantic relationships. That could mean work relationships or partnerships. And I'm sorry, I've been dealing with a bit of a cold. I wasn't sure if it was cold or allergies, so now I'm starting to think it's a cold. Anyways, so partnerships could be business partners. It could be school partners for like school projects and the such. So it could be friendships as a partnership, or it doesn't have to be brought down to being romantic unless that's really what you're connecting to and that's what you're feeling the card is speaking about. If it's speaking about that to you, or if it even says directly that it is specifically relationships, well then that's what it's talking about. I don't always like using tarot cards, to be honest. They kind of scare me, and that means they're working. They're honest. They are too honest, and I have used tarot to help me with like making decisions for college and making decisions for court or whatever other matters I've dealt with in my past. And uh, by the way, I have a spotless record. I like studying court for school and stuff, so I'm leaning towards working in the legal law, justice, somewhat in their field. Don't know yet. My life changes around as it goes. Anyway, so now my cards are put away back where they were. The boxes are a little dusty. It's super easy to get dust in here. I don't like it. No matter what I do, the dust always comes. So anyways, that was divination with tarot and with cards. With mirrors, I like having mirrors because I could sort of see the spirit or the entity that I'm working with or talking to. And if you speak with specific entities or beings in spirits, then they could be very, very helpful with divination. They could tell you so much about what you need to know, especially if you're talking to your ancestors. Ancestral magic is a whole nother level, but once you start talking to them and you have a mirror and ancestor candle and ancestor altar, whatever it is you have to represent your ancestors, they will be your divination for life. They will tell you things forever and ever, and they will warn you things, they will lead you to things, little trinkets someone might left behind, or spells that might have been cast and you found the object that's linked to you. You were led by your ancestors, and that is actually a form of divination in my mind. The pendulum. People use that to help them find things. I've never been good with a pendulum. I use it for decoration mostly, or because I like the stones, or because I'm interested in using it. But I don't use pendulums. I'm not very good at it. Maybe I could get good at it, but sometimes you find that you don't have skills for certain things. You just might as well leave it that way. So, that's my perspective anyways. I'm not going to keep trying to keep failing until the 1000th time when I finally succeed, and then 1,000 more times it's going to fail. I like to stick with what works with me. Anyways, so we got the pendulum, cards, mirrors, dreams. I believe dreams, especially if you dream them in color and sound, as if it's a TV, modern day TV movie, then you need to pay attention to it. Maybe have a dream journal. I used to keep dream journals, but I am the worst person ever at journaling. I suck at that. I'm not very good at it. I try and I try and I try. Whatever. I use journaling for certain spells and magic in my book of shadows up here. And I will journal the results of certain things, or I'll put dreams in there if it's a really important dream. If you can't remember dreams, having a glass of water by your bed. My altar is actually by my bed, so I would probably move my tarot cards and put a glass of water right here and have like a piece of tape on it that says remember, and you drink a little bit of it before bedtime, and then you drink a little bit again when you wake up. That will help you remember your dreams. You can trust Google if you feel like it for dream messages. I've actually had some incredible dreams and interpretations from Google that helped me figure out what dreams meant. Like, why did I dream of 3 baby turtles? That was really weird. And so apparently it's also really good luck, and a lot of really wonderful things are going to happen for me. And I feel that, even though always the chaos happens first and then the wonderful things happen. So maybe I'll get a better job than what I have, and maybe I'll actually use my education for something. College has not helped me get a job with my education. So I don't know if education even means anything anymore. So anyways, like, dreams will make you think those things, and when you're thinking those things, you're going to take action towards your future. When you look into the divination, usually you want to take action towards what you're feeling or seeing, and that's how you're going to draw what you want to you. It's also known as the law of attraction. It's not just witchcraft, but witchcraft does help us guide our future and manifest things and mold things the way we want them to be. And sometimes that's not always the case, but most of the time it is. So anyways, there's a lot more options to divination than even just my list. You could do tea divination, random writing. I forget what it's called when you do the writing by just whatever thoughts come out, and you got to get it all down and write it out. That could be a form of divination. Water magic, you can use that for divination. It's a lot like the mirror magic aspect, but water does send messages and feels emotions. And wind, I used to listen to the wind a lot, and I would actually hear what the wind was trying to tell me, and I would actually follow the wind, and I still sometimes do. What I mean by follow the wind means I pack up and I relocate until I feel like I should be there. And that's just what I do. Not as much these days. It's expensive to move around like that. So I'm trying to take a more adventuring approach to listening to the wind instead of a moving, relocating approach. Granted, if I could afford it, I would relocate all the time and have housing that's nice and a vehicle that works and everything to be paid for. But that's not the case. That's not reality for me. So anyways, this is actually a really long video. Kind of, I guess, makes up for not recording for 2 weeks. And I hope everybody learned something about divination. You could use fruit for divination, by the way. Like, people use the apple. If you cut it certain ways and you see the star of the seeds, look up what that means. And if you already know, bonus points to you. I guess people do something similar with oranges. So you can use food for divination even. Just do more research and follow what your instincts tell you and your intuition tells you. That is always the advice I will share. Do more research. See if you believe what everybody else believes, or if you're paving your own path of beliefs. And that's perfectly fine if it works for you, if it's safe and healthy. That's what matters the most. Anyways, I hope everybody learned something, and if they didn't, I hope this was a good refresher for you and a reminder that maybe you should touch into your divination this time of year, because the veil is thin. Samhain is going to be coming up in a couple of weeks. That's when it's the thinnest, and we'll be talking more about ancestors and ancestral magic when Samhain comes up, because that is the best time for that. So anyways, ta-ta for now. Till next time.